welcome to a new episode of the Career Changers. Today, our guest is Angammai Monika, global career coach for professionals across the world and a career counselor for school and college students. She's also the author of the Amazon first best-selling book, Seven Secrets Nobody Told You About Successful Career. We will discuss her career journey and how to overcome career confusion. Hi, Monica. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Elisa. It's my pleasure to be part of this wonderful podcast.
Thank you. So let's start with your career. Can you tell us about your background and what led you to become a global career coach and career counselor?
Yes, I started my career, I would say, like I did my post graduation in environmental science, and I worked in 10 different domains, to be very honest, in HR, in finance, because I didn't had much clarity about career. So whatever was there on my way, I took it up and I did my best. And after that, like once I got married and settled, had kids, had sabbatical break, everything. At that point, I decided I really want to start something of my own. That was like a turning point, which was in 2019, where I started career counseling because I thought it's better to give guidance to students. Like I have been there, right? So it's better to avoid those circumstances for them. And that made me to step into career counseling.
Mm. And if we're going back to when you were younger, what was your dream job when you were a child?
Yeah, we usually had four options there, like to become a teacher, doctor, lawyer, or a government official. The rest, the people out there will eliminate. You don't do this. It's not good for you, right? We
Mm.
had those kind of influences over here. It was very easy, or become an engineer. So these were like five options. I did give entrance examinations for medical and engineering with the hope that I will clear, but I couldn't clear those things. And I was not very much fascinated towards teaching, even though my mom was a teacher. But somehow I'm doing something related to teaching now, which is coaching, which is at a very higher level.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. And how did you start your professional life, or better, what was your very first job?
very first job was with an advertising firm. I was their marketing professional. It was nowhere related to my post graduation in science.
Mhm.
And from there, I like stepped into NGO, then to IBM, which was into IT sector, then to American Express, which was into the finance sector, then with Supreme Industries, which was a manufacturing sector, and after that, Randstad, it's an HR firm. So it's like a mixed experience which I had. And that really is helping me out in becoming a successful coach as on date.
So you had a corporate career, and then what inspired you to write your book, Seven Secrets Nobody Told You About Successful Career?
As I stated earlier, so I felt there was no clarity when I was a child, even though I was good enough in studying, but somewhere I didn't have the clarity or stand for my career, or I didn't had any goal. So at that point, I felt, let me guide the students out here and help them to make that career choice in a planned way so that they can set a goal and achieve. So I have been successful in guiding them in pursuing their dreams where they're actually fit because of their personality and interest. And I
Mm.
have helped like close to 1,500 students out there who are actually living their dream life now.
Let's talk about career confusion. What do you see as the most common causes of career confusion among professional and students nowadays?
I would say dear, like lack of self-awareness. When you're not very clear with your thoughts, what do you want? You will get ideas from everywhere, right? Whether it works for you or not, whether you are skilled enough or not, whether you're ready for it or not, or whether you're suitable for it or not. People will flood you with ideas, right? But unless and until you get a clarity like what you want from your career and what is that you would like to pursue in job. So that is something is missing. That's the reason people go with the flow. Okay, it's IT is booming. Yeah, real estate is booming. Or medical fraternity is booming. So you really don't have to go ahead with the booming sector. You really need to explore. Okay, these are the industries, but where I will be a perfect match, or where I can invest my like time and energy, where I can become more productive. And the second thing which I felt was like fear of change. When we say career changes,
Yeah.
whomsoever is there in the career, so they really have the fear factor. Monica, you're asking us to change what we are risking, the income. We have a family which is dependent on us. But somehow down the line, when they lose interest, obviously they are going to quit the job because of the low performance, right? So it's better when you get that alarm signal, right? Yes, I really want to change. I want to do something different. You really need to work on it. And the career transition is possible, whatever age or stage you are at. Because as I said, I restarted my career in 2019. I was in my 30s. You just need to get the clarity and you need to have the courage to step out and go for it with a
Mm.
proper plan. And third thing, what I felt, especially here in my surrounding, is like the external pressure, the family pressure, the societal expectations. Once you are in a good firm, you are making good money, whether you like it or not, right? The people really want you to be there in that career. They say you're doing good. You have a car, you have a own villa or a house, right? So why you want to get down on your salary and do something which is not going to get you that high level of remuneration? People really don't care about whether you love your job or not. They see
Mm.
like you're doing good, so please continue. Don't get out of that comfort zone. And fourth, and like very important, as on date, the industries are changing drastically. The moment you learn a skill and come to the workforce, there is a new skill. You need to upgrade yourself. So you need to be ready for it. So consistent upskilling will help you to stay there in the job.
Mm. So how do you specifically help your clients to navigate career confusion and find their true calling?
Yeah. So what I do here is I actually work on the mindset level. So when I talk about I'm a coach for mid-career professionals. So at the end, what extract I get out of that conversation is, am I worthy enough, Monica? Will I get it? Is it the right time to ask? Am I like being greedy to ask that increment or promotion? Will I be thrown out of the job? So these are like the self-doubts or the belief what they have. So I really work on their mindset and make them believe first, yes, you are ready for it. You are doing a wonderful job. You need to believe that, right? In Bible also it's mentioned, ask and like you would be given, right? It's never that you just think of it and it will be delivered. So you need to ask. So for that, you need to first believe that you are capable of. And second thing, what I do is like I get into career assessments. I identify their skills, their strengths, their earlier paths, and their education qualification. So based on that, what are the transferable skills we can use for the another career which they're aspiring for, right? And the third thing, what I do is like a goals setting. You really can aspire for like hundreds of things. It's okay. But you need to have at least one goal set and you need to have a plan and need to take action, consistent action. And the unique part about my coaching is like personal. It's one-on-one coaching. It's not a group coaching what I do. So we customize the coaching package according to the client need. And we work on the confidence level, the leadership, and the decision making, which have been like major concerns of most of my clients.
Mm. Can you share some practical strategies for overcoming career confusion and making clear career decisions?
Sure. Even before approaching a coach, you can still handle it on your own. You need to reflect. Okay. You need to understand what are your strengths, what are your interests, and which career sector or I would say industry requires those skills, right? And second thing is like building the skills. You would have done your graduation or a post graduation or like a diploma program long back, a decade back, or 5 years back. Now you need to identify the gaps. When I say identify the gaps, what are the new tools you need to equip yourself? For example, the AI or chat GPT, right? So the people who know those skills are in job, right? And people are not able to adapt. They're easily the next target for an HR person. And the third thing is networking. It's like your gold mine. So build your connections with your peers, your industry leaders, your mentors. You never know. You might encounter the XYZ in the next interview also. So it's better to have your networking the right place. It is something which you cannot do overnight. So you need to start building. If you're just listening to this podcast, just go for networking. You really don't have to be the skilled person to be hired. You just need to know certain people out there, which will work wonders for you.
Mhm.
And last but not the least is your action plan. So you need to have your short term plan as well as long-term plans so that you don't get deviated with like n number of programs which are coming online every day. So you really need to ensure that you're following the path.
Mm. So, if we look at your book, can you highlight one or two of the seven secrets that you believe are especially crucial for career success? You have seven, but
Definitely do. So first and foremost, I would say is like the resilience. People really think, okay, do I need to be so strength enough? Or it's just a mindset. You need to fix it. Okay, whatever happens, if I've chosen this track, let me give my 100%. So don't be afraid of your setbacks. So you need to come back. And if you ask, like most of the people are afraid of like failures. But believe me, success and failures are not opposites. Failure is the stepping stone of success. The people who have succeeded in life have undergone like many failures, like hundreds of failures to taste that one success. So don't be afraid of that. And first and like and the third secret which I want to reveal is like power of networking. So as I said, when I say power of networking, just to add to that, don't hesitate to ask for help. By asking for help, it's not that you are like not good enough or you're not competitive enough. It's better to ask for help. At the same time, be ready to give help also. So the mantra which I use is, how can I help you? And second thing is, could you please help me?
Mm.
Nothing wrong in it. You don't have to be a champion in all sectors. You can just get the advice from the best.
So, what is the biggest difference that you see when you're working with professional versus students?
Mhm. So when I say students here, they really need to explore the career part. So they need to focus on the career exploration, skill developments, and educational choices like which college and which program. And when we speak about professionals or young professionals, we emphasize on the leadership, personal branding, and what are the skills they can use or transit from one industry to another. And as I said, I'm into executive coaching. So there we focus on the executive presence, legacy building, and strategic thinking. So these are like three different levels what we deliver.
Mm. And as a global career coach, what difference do you notice in career challenges faced by individuals in different parts of the world? You were mentioning some of the characteristic of the more required jobs there in India, but do you have identify any other different patterns in different parts of the world?
Definitely, dear. When I speak about India and Asia, mostly here we have a strong societal or familial interference in your career choices, as I said, right? So people really help you out in eliminating those lists, like the choices. They will make the choices for you. So please
Mm.
don't get into that. It's risky. Please don't get into this defense mode. It's a highly, there is no safety at all. So these kinds of influence are there. Or like your cousin is into IT sector. You also follow the same footstep. They just want you to be safe and secure.
Mm.
But when I speak about Western countries, they are more flexible but highly competitive. So you really need to upskill yourself to be on track because highly competitive and with good remuneration, right? So you need to ensure that you stand out of the competition. And when I talk about Middle East and Africa, like there are rapid career shifts and industry shifts are happening. So you really need to like be prepared for those shifts. And if you ask me as a one liner, like a universal challenge, there has to be like a need for clarity, confidence, and adaptability. So the changes are coming so fast, right? You need to adapt.
Mm, that's so
Like last, like
interesting.
yeah, a couple of years back, there was not a big deal with AI, right? We thought, okay. Then the people said AI will replace human, but the reality is humans are replaced by the people who know how to operate through AI. So it's
Yeah.
only human getting replaced by human, right? So to
Mhm.
be there in the job or workforce, or to be an entrepreneur, or to be in any profession, you need to ensure that you are live and active with all the upskilling. Then
Mm.
you're great to go. Then people and the company will fight for you. Yeah, please come and join our organization. We would love to have you on board.
Mm. You were
So
mentioning that
that's
for some people in certain region, one of the big challenges is sudden career shifts. How can someone be prepared for that?
yes. When I say sudden career shift, right? So that is something like you might not be able to upskill yourself for something immediate, correct? So then you need to look what are your strengths and what are the skills which are transferable. When I say transferable, like leadership or communication or negotiation or marketing, so these skills, irrespective of your industry, you can use in other industries as well, right? Just to ensure that you're landing another job, you can play with your existing skill set even before applying for any kind of professional certified courses. This is something you can play with your existing, I would say, the qualification skills, what you have. And people are open to accept people from different industries because nowadays people are looking for skills. If you're a good salesperson, great. It really doesn't matter which product you have handled in the past. So if you are very good like a leader, it really doesn't matter. You have managed people out there in XYZ industry. You are managing people out there in ABC industry as well, correct? So you can do it. So now the mindset of the organization or the founders or the chairmen also have become like a broadened version of it so that you can get into it. So that's the easiest transition, what we have done with the transferable skills. Otherwise, you need to build your profile again because you have a background. For example, from banking or something, and you want to shift to IT, you need to have certain courses or certification to get through the ATS system. When I say ATS, like it is the filtration process, right? Even before the HR, the resumes are getting filtered.
Mm. And do you
So
think,
that's a little bit long process. Yeah.
yeah, and in your experience, did you see people transitioning from one career to the other, becoming more fulfilled, or did you also witness situation where actually that change didn't make them happy?
Yes. First and foremost, whenever we work, so we get to the goal setting, right? So whatever they are comfortable and they can take it for a long term. It's not like a 1 year, 2 year plan. We really take the roadmap for 10 years. The
Mm.
only difference between clients is like the resilience power. Because one of my clients from IT sector transitioned to that writer, technical writer, even though that was like a little bit shift, I would say. It was not like we are taking her entirely out of IT and putting her into writer. But we said, let us explore the technical writer profile, which is close to her. And today she is doing a wonderful job. And she is one of the highly paid technical writers. There was a demand, and the transition was easy. So you have to make the practical step. It's not like you are deviating from IT to totally to banking or something which is a new cup for you.
Mm.
So you need to have a plan because you have traveled so far, right? So you need to consider those skills, what you have learned, what stage you are at, and how many months you can invest for this transition. You
Mm.
really cannot take years. If you are a newbie or a young graduate, you can explore. But when you are in the middle of a career or like 30s, you really need to fast track
Mm.
your journey.
So time is going really fast and we are approaching the end of this episode, but we have a few more questions. So first of all, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners about overcoming career confusion and finding success?
I would say embrace discomfort. So the growth happens outside the comfort zone. So till you are in comfort zone, you might not get what you're aspiring for. Come out of your comfort zone. And believe me, like I have tried it on myself and on my clients, 99% whenever I come out of my comfort zone with a proper plan, I have tasted success. But it's difficult to come out of that comfort zone in the initial. But once you start, then it becomes your second persona. And second thing, which I really want to point out here is invest in mentorship or coaching because that really fast tracks your success. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? You can take the support. It could be an industry expert or it could be a coach, and you can travel this path of a decade within few months or in a year, and you can reach that sky high which you are aspiring for. And third and fourth, like I would say, the most important point is never stop learning. So even we have become like global coaches now. We do have our coaches and we are learning and investing like close to 10 hours every day on our self development. So that's the importance. So there is no like full stop to it. You really need to upskill yourself at every stage, whether you reach sky high, because there is another sky waiting for you. Then only you will be there in this competitive world. So it doesn't matter whether you are a coach or a professional, you need to upskill.
Yes, always ongoing. So now,
Absolutely, dear.
so now really the last question. If you could, you had a long career, you did your journey as well. But if you look back, if you could give yourself a piece of advice, what would you say to your younger self?
I would say trust yourself. The struggles you face today are shaping the leader you will become tomorrow.
Thank you, Monica, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. It was really great pleasure to be there on your show. So I really wish all success to all the career changers who are aspiring for it. Just go for it.
Thank you so much.
You have to live your life to the fullest. Yeah.
And the last message for our listeners, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review and tune in next week for a new inspirational episode of the Career Changers. Thank you.